Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. We're Friday, December 13th. What's up, Marine? What's up, Ace? I saw your question on Patreon, Ace, and let me just read it. Let's start off with this. I like Eagles money line, but is it a trap? Steelers haven't lost as dogs on the road this season. Listen, I think the Eagles win the game. I just don't think it's worth your return on investment. I think there's other stuff on the meat, on the bone this week. I think there's other meat to get. I just don't think you need to do anything desperate there. That's my quick take. My long take is the thing in that game that I feel like is a trap. If you want to, I don't like using a word like trap, but I think we all know what I'm trying to say. The thing that does feel like a trap, it almost feels too easy to lay that 5 with the Steelers. And this is coming from someone who, since week 2, I love the Eagles. I'm not beating my chest about that. But I came on here and defended Sirianni after the Browns game. So that's just one example. And I've been waiting and licking my chops to get against the Steelers offense. Listen, we all respect their defense. We all know they're really good. But I've been waiting to get against the Steelers offense. It's like the perfect occasion with Pickens out. But I do think Mike Williams can step up on the prop show. You'll be getting some Mike Williams fed to you. But with that being said, like, I do feel like it's a little bit of a trap. This +5, +5.5 for the Steelers feels too easy. It does feel too easy. What's up, Tony? What's up, Nyla? Washington, I'm sticking to what I said. I think it's a money pick. I think the Saints are beat up. I think their Alamo game was against the Rams, and they played very good in that first half. You lose Taysom Hill. I know everyone likes to hate on Carr, but you lose Carr now. What are we getting? Haney, whatever his name is. We've seen him play. I think he's more accurate than Rattler. I would probably go Rattler. Let me know if you guys saw an official in that game. But either way, like I've been saying about the Saints, like it's cute with Rizzo. It's been a nice little story, like him talking about using the bathroom before the game. We don't need to go into it. It's been a nice little cute story. But I think that book closed when we hit the Rams on Patreon. I think that was the book slamming shut. And you also look at, there's no Shaheed on the outside. There's no Olave on the outside. They're relying on Valdez-Scantling. I just think the Commanders are too damn powerful, and I do trust the Commanders to run up the score here. So that's my take on the game. What's up, Chris? What's up, Chris? Let's get this money, man. Yeah, Tony, I wouldn't feel bad. I wouldn't have FOMO about a Thursday night game. I did pick the Rams on the Tuesday show, but I told everyone not to bet it. It's just Iron City asking Lawson Claus to bring all of us to Jen's money. Season going by fast. Yeah, it's going by way too fast. Like Marine said, we are already we got 4 weeks left. And I gotta be honest. I got to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of betting playoffs in the NFL. Like, I'm not looking forward to having to handicap a Texans game round 1. I'm just not. I was talking on Discord about that today. Like, how do you even judge the Texans going into the postseason? Like, I feel like we got a good read on everything, but and we've been getting against the Chiefs, which I think maybe is a good sign of where we're going to be at in the playoffs. But still, playoff football is really hard to bet. Like, I think playoff basketball is easier to bet than playoff football. Zamora sends a super chat, and everyone, thank you for the super chats last week. Full PPR pick to Montgomery, Connor, Chardonnay. I would go Montgomery. And I would go points per reception. I would go Connor. I would go Connor. I think the Seahawks are going to throw it a lot. And I actually have to address that Seahawks Packers game. Like, I didn't have like a strong lean on the show. I'm pretty sure I picked the Packers. But if I had to bet that game and my life was on the line, I think I would go the Seahawks. I'm a little bit nervous about it. What's up, Mike? What's up, Dominique? Good evening, Tasha. What's up, Juicy? Let's get this money. Maybe I'll wear the Santa hat next week. What's up, Marine? What's up, France? What's up? What's up, Francesco? Like, nice to see you, bro. I do think it's worth betting the Bengals. I kind of liked my suggestion on the upset video to do it with the same game parlay. I'm not a big parlay guy, but I feel like that's a good spot because the Bengals have so much variance. But I also feel like this is a great spot for the Bengals. I'm really concerned about the Titans offense. Really fucking concerned. I'm just extremely concerned. Yeah, I do think I do think Chardonnay is going to get the ball a lot. I should say big bet, man. I'm not saying college fun or anything like that. So saying big bet. Like I said, like on Patreon, I've been saying like I'm going hard on this. I'm going big. That's up for you guys to be responsible adults and do what you need to do with it. You guys been pretty good this year. Like when I say go small, you guys go small. So I think you guys have to do that mathematics in your head. What's up, Cals? What's up, Eusebio? Can New England beat Arizona? Eric, we got the Pats in a long shot against the Bears. I just don't think this is a good spot, and I don't know which team I trust less, the Zona Cardinals or the Patriots. Something tells me Zona will have some sort of response. But man, I honestly, man, like I don't know what Patriots team we're gonna see. Their defense has looked better before the bye week, but they somehow managed to lose that game against the Colts when that was a long shot we had. It wasn't the biggest long shot, it was 2.5 points. I mean, they still covered the plus 2.5, but that game really rubbed me the wrong way, the way they lost that game at the end. A lot of the late game just moves by Mayo and the Patriots in general have rubbed me the wrong way. Like even going back to like the Titans week. So if it gets close, like I think they'll choke it away, to be honest. What's up, Pick'em? Thank you, man. Thank you, man. JJ, what's up, JJ? Yeah, man, I think we're gonna go hard this week. I think it's gonna be a good week. What's up, Wiz? What's up, man? How about them Raiders, man? Yeah, I agree, Flocka. Like I honestly, man, the way Zona lost that game to Minnesota was just I was without words. And you guys know, and I don't like picking on the coaches because we see a lot of bad coaching, a lot of bad game management. And I know they feel the pressure because like if something goes wrong, if they get aggressive and something goes wrong, people are going to criticize because it's better to go conservative. No one criticizes you for being conservative except me. And I know you guys do because you guys hold tickets. But also sometimes you have to have a gambler mentality or maybe even a 13-year-old playing Madden mentality. But, the Cardinals dominated the whole game, yet in the fourth quarter, they completely collapsed against the Vikings. They have a long drive, and they could run out the clock. It's like a 4th and 3 situation. Cards are up 3, and they choose to kick the field goal to go up 6. What does 6 really fucking do for you? It does fuck all. It does fuck all to go up 6. And then what did the Vikings do? They went down the field and they scored a touchdown. Like it's basic stuff like that. It's basic numbers. It's basic math. It's basic game theory. And you do feel like the Cardinals are crumbling under the pressure of this run. You really do. What's up, Tony? Yo, thank you for watching me for 2 years, man. I appreciate it. Yo, Wiz, why didn't your Raiders take a look at Jameis Winston? I still don't get that. Tom had no touchdowns last night. Thank you for the super chat. Vegas rolled the public on prop. I agree. Like they're going to get back their props. They're going to get those back. I don't know the public, but just judging by you guys, and not saying you guys in particular, because I have a photographic memory, but like, yeah, there's a lot of outrage on the Tuesday video with the Rams pick. And I didn't understand that. I told no one about it. I said, like if you bet this game and you're trying to dig into this game hard, like you need to call that 1-800 number. And yeah, man, it was an odd game script to say the least. And then like Deebo Samuel can't even catch a pass anymore. Like what the fuck, man? Cows, I think the Steelers with the spread makes sense. It's just it feels almost too obvious. Well, with the anytime touchdowns, Joe Mixon's always a good bet. Although Dolphins have been stronger against the run than people think, but I think Mixon's a good bet on the anytime touchdown. Brian Robinson, I agree. Like that would be one I would have circled if I was going to do the anytime touchdown market. Not my favorite market. And Derrick Henry, yeah, makes sense. Although, like, just always be careful when you're in these games, like when a team's laying 16 points and the Ravens are obviously eyeing the playoffs. Just be careful with that. But I think all three of those should hit. What's up, James? I think it's going to be a good week, man. I'm feeling pretty good about this week. Let me get to the Patreon questions. Let me get to the Patreon questions. And thank you guys for being in a live chat. Let's have some fun tonight. And I do want to just say, please do not bet the Packers. Like I didn't give a strong lean on that game on the video, but I have a bad feeling about them this week against Seattle. So it seems like a lot of you guys are targeting some Seattle props. So I think you have the right idea. Like Jair Alexander's out. I feel like this Packers defense is overrated. Now, one of the big weaknesses of the Seahawks in defense of Geno Smith has been this offensive line sucks. They haven't run blocked the whole year. They can't pass block. And I feel like that's put Geno in dangerous situations. But here's the reason why I do think the Seahawks can steal this game. Well, I don't think it's stealing it. They're plus 2.5, but I do think the Seahawks can win this game, man, because I've been saying the whole year, I think the Packers defense is overrated and they don't get a great pass rush without blitzing. And if you blitz against the Seahawks, man, there's some really good receivers like DK Metcalf, Smith and Jigba. I mean, Tyler Lockett's still fast. Like there's a lot of dudes who can make plays. Lino Froster, yo, Lawson, you never answered my question on what you ate on Thanksgiving. I had a piece of sirloin steak. My bad, I missed it, man. My bad. Had a piece of steak, man, because the turkey here is like it's getting really fucking expensive. Like it's really expensive, the turkey in Brazil. And it's like, and they put like seasoning, like think like rotisserie chicken seasoning on a turkey that you put in the oven. Like I'm going to pass on that. I'm getting one for Christmas though. But yeah, I just want steak. I either eat steak or chicken. Zay Moore. I honestly think Bengals will win by 10 this week. Me too, Zay. Not a question, but if you want to tell me your thoughts, that's all I got for you. Let's get this money. What's up, Zay? Zay's got a picture with a baby and Tua. Yeah, Zay, I think that makes sense, and I think they should roll by him. I kind of like the same game parlay I mentioned on the upset video, but yeah, man, I think Cincinnati should roll through them, and I don't think this is a terrible matchup for the Cincinnati defense. I really don't. And I know Will Levis is going to take a lot of criticism, and fair enough, like he deserves criticism. He's obviously not that good. But I think Callahan's been one of the biggest disasters I've ever seen from a first-year coach. And I think the Titans are underperforming their talent level. And I do think the Bengals will get pressure. Now, they got pressure against Russell Wilson. They hit Russell Wilson 10, 12 times in the game, and they still gave up a 40-piece to the fucking Steelers. But it is Will Levis, and you only have Calvin Ridley to throw to. And I know Westbrook-Ikini's been pretty good at times. He's been in the player prop show, and we've cashed on that. But still, point still stands. I don't think the Titans have enough to get at the Bengals defense. And like I said, I like the team total over 24.5 for the Bengals. I think that's pretty solid. Warren Flowers. John, do you have any teasers in mind for us? Asking for a friend. Well, I do think I'll be betting a teaser this week on Patreon, but here's some candidates I got with the 6-point teasers. I think bringing Bills up, even though we're breaking the mathematics because the total for that game is 54.5. I don't like teasing games that are that high. But still, you bring the Bills up to 8.5. I'm not smugging my nose. You bring the Cardinals down the money line if you're desperate. Let's throw out the Cardinals. I would say bringing the Bengals down the money line wouldn't be the worst bet in the world. Bringing the no names down to 1.5 would be interesting. Bringing the Bucks up, let's say, bringing them up to 9 would be very interesting. Bringing the Vikings down to -1 would be very preferable, and bringing the Hawks up to 8.5. If I had to give you a 3, give me the Hawks, Bucks, no names, 3-team 6-point teaser. Brendan, John, I've got 2 questions. Me and my girl want to get matching tattoos of your handsome face for making us so much money. I appreciate it. Where on our body should we get the tattoo? Well, I would say thigh. Listen, man, I remember a rapper one time, I think it was Lil Skies. He said he would get a tattoo on his face so he never had to work a regular job. Honestly, if I had to get a tattoo, I would only get one on the face. I feel like that's full commitment. But I don't know if I want you to go full commitment, but I would say thigh or back so people can't fucking see it. I know you guys love tattoos. I'm just a little bit too traditional for the tattoos. Okay, so that was funny. And thank you, Brendan, for not getting offended, because you sent a question in 2 weeks ago that really set me off. But it wasn't your fault. It was just a general question. Second, I am going fat for a 2,500 teaser with no names -1 and Bills plus 8.5. Do you believe I can make my bookie hate me when this teaser hits and my account balance increases to magisterial levels? I've always had, listen, I'm not the biggest my bookie guy. I'm on Bet365 and Pinnacle, the quote unquote sharp books. But yeah, I've used my bookie and they've always paid out. I would just be careful going hard on the teasers because I did get banned by Bovada just for teasers. And I'm not beating my chest and saying I won tons of money. I took all their money. No, I made fucking $4,000 when I first started doing teasers, and they got me off of there real quick. So just be careful with that. And also I would not smug my nose at that teaser. Like Brendan, you've seen on Patreon this whole year what teasers have hit that I posted. And it's not the sexy teasers where we get plus 250, plus 300. The teasers that always hit on Patreon, I think we're fucking 5-1 when I posted them, are just 2-team 6-point teasers. It's -110. It's the same as a bet. So I would go no names, and I would probably go Hawks because the over-unders aren't high. But like I said, Bills are on my teaser list this week, so I cannot disagree with you. But yeah, those hit. They hit. Those 2-leg ones hit. I know, Von. Like, it wasn't even like a lot of money. I wish I could say I got 30K from them and then they kicked me off. Like, no, it's nothing along those lines. It was nothing glamorous. Like, it was a little hot soccer streak with NFL teaser streak. It was when I first started doing the teasers. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. I know, Ryan, and they ban you because I don't know. Like, maybe they just got like a vibe. I made a video about it. It was when I first came to Brazil. Okay, here we go. Like, some good questions to start. Richard Lockhart, what's up, Rich? Good evening, John. What do you think about this 4-team Moneyline parlay? Jets. Well, I think the Jets win the game. But I got to be honest, the Jets are the worst coach team I've ever seen, and we benefited from that last week with the Dolphins. Just saying, like, the Dolphins are the worst team. I mean, the Jets are the worst coach team I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm being honest, like, without hyperbole. Denver, I do think Denver wins. I do think Denver covers. Panthers, I really like the Panthers this week. I made Bryce Young the thumbnail. Washington, yeah, I like it. It's just with the Jets, you're playing with fire. You're playing with fucking fire. The Jets should beat them by 10 points. I do think the Jags have ran out of fight. Although, like, they haven't quit like everyone thought they would. Everyone was taking Tennessee last week. I just made sure I added caution on that, so I have a clean conscience. But yeah, the Jets should kick their ass. But are the Jets going to do it? Good question. Hound. Yo, Lawson, what do you think of that pathetic offensive performance from San Fran last night? And then Campbell not wanting to come in after Greenlaw went out. Worst Niner team since Chip Kelly coached. Hope all is well, big dog. Let's get this money this week. I agree. And can I tell you something about Shanahan and Lynch that concerned me? Firstly, the Debo Samuel contract's looking really bad right now. Like, he lost a step. And let's be honest, like, he just doesn't have that same burst. I don't think has that same hunger, which is normal, but he just doesn't have that same burst. And then you look at the Ayuk contract, and is Ayuk even in my top 20 receivers in the league? No. Like, if this was like 92 or 88 and the NFL was physical and you had someone who would have to go over the middle and get hit and get contact every single minute of every single route, then I think Ayuk would be a good bet. It's just like that Ayuk contract's not aging well. The Christian McCaffrey contract's not aging well. And then what happened with Campbell last night? Hound, this is what we were saying 2 weeks ago. Yeah, they whipped the Bears' ass. We were wrong. I was fucking wrong about that. I felt like the 49ers would just completely lay down that game. I did. But last night was a lay down session, and Campbell refusing to enter the game was absolutely disgusting. Like, I don't even have words for it, and I don't even have words for it. They should suspend him. Like, they shouldn't even cut him. They should just suspend him so they don't have to pay him. And also, the 49ers offense last night was bad. And I'm starting to think a little bit of it is play design. Like, I went hard on Debo Samuel, but even he mentioned, like, the play design maybe isn't what it was in the past. Maybe it's too predictable. I kind of agree. And then also, like, even the George Kittle contract, is it looking all that great? I mean, is the George Kittle contract looking all that great? So you have all this money just thrown at these guys who I think we've seen their best football already. Yeah, Niners cut Campbell. Okay, I saw from Rappaport today that he might be suspended. I like Tampa Bay this week, by the way, Angry. But yeah, man, I do think Shanahan deserves a lot of blame for this. Like, I don't want to put too much on Lynch. Because listen, they've had a lot of talent, and Shanahan, I think they should try to trade Shanahan for a first-round draft pick. Mike Florio was floating the idea. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Okay, I like Tampa. I like Tampa, Tasha. I did a separate video on it if you want more info. Packers minus 2.5 loss, and we know Geno will turn over more than Love. I'm not sure about that, Jeremy. I'm not seeing that. I mean, Jordan Love has been a turnover machine this year, along with Geno. And like I've been saying this whole year, Jeremy, I think the Packers defense is extremely overrated, especially the secondary. And the issue with the Hawks, the big weakness of the Hawks has been their offensive line the whole year. The run defense, they've solved. Look at their run defense the last 4 or 5 weeks. And if you look at the Packers' drives this year, their good drives, their money drives, their scoring drives are when they're run heavy. Yes, Love has made some big plays down the field. Yes, Love is dynamic. Yes, Kraft has been great at tight end. We got to give Kraft credit. But outside of Kraft, who in that offense in the receiver room do you trust? Like, I don't trust Reed. I don't trust Christian Watson. I don't trust Jordan Love. And at this point, I'm not sure the Packers get a pass rush. And if the Seahawks are good on defense, stopping the run, I think the Seahawks get more stops than the Packers. And I'm not sure, like I'm not sure what the stats say, but what the advanced statistics say is this Green Bay pass rush sucks. And when you compare them with other teams, they need a blitz to get pressure, and it's hard to blitz against the Seahawks because they have so many dangerous weapons. Let me bring the Patreon questions back up. I accidentally X'd it off. 1 second. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let me get this back up. Okay. Okay, let me get this back up. Okay, it's hot in here tonight. Okay, let's get to okay, yeah. Okay, Matt Zhang. John, this is my teaser. Eagles minus 2.5. Matt. Bengals minus 3.5. Washington minus 6.5. Panthers 2.5. What's your take on this? And I want to add Green Bay plus 3, Matt. I think you're being greedy here. Matt. I mean, Eagles should win by a field goal. I just a little bit nervous about that game. I've been disappointed with Hurts the whole year. And the Hurts rise made us a lot of money, but I'll be honest, the last 2 years, he hasn't been good. So if the Steelers are able to stop their run game, which we don't know, I mean, I think you can run it against the Steelers, but if the Steelers are able to stop their run game, I don't know if I trust Hurts. I really don't. Bengals minus 3.5. Yeah, but you're not really crossing a key number. Like, I don't see the value going from -5 to minus 3.5. I just don't see the value. Because 5 and 4 aren't key numbers. Like, so I'm not seeing the value there. Washington minus 6.5. I see the value there, bringing it down. That makes sense to me. Panthers plus 2.5. Like I said, I don't know if we really see the value here because let's say the Panthers lose by a field goal, then you lose the bet, and then like you don't have any cushion with the teaser. And then adding Green Bay plus 3, I don't know, man. I'm not certain Green Bay wins the game, which if they lose by a field goal, which is highly possible, you're going to get a push on that. So yeah, man, I can't say I'm in love with that teaser. You're not teasing too many points either. The Eagles one makes the most sense to why you would want to tease that down. But yeah, man, I can't vibe with that, Matt. Don't blink X. How you like this parlay? Ravens minus 6.5. I feel like taking 10 points off for them is, I don't know. What are we gonna get? Ravens minus 6.5. Commanders money line. Packers money line. Comes to plus 178. Like I said, I'm not sure the Packers win the game. I would probably substitute the Packers for the Bengals money line, but that's going to bring that way down, like because you're getting plus money with that, which makes perfect sense. I just feel like there's other things to tease this week: Bills, Cards, no names, Bucks, Bengals, Hawks, Vikings. Why not just tease the Vikings down instead of like the Packers money line? It's just like I said, like I'm a little bit nervous about the Packers heading into this game. A little bit nervous about it. I can't say I've been vibing with the Packers this whole year. Thank you for the super chat, Jeff. Jeff, I appreciate it. Thank you, Jeff. I hope you're doing good, Jeff. Alistair sends a super chat. Thank you, Alistair. $5. Lawson Kloss is coming to town. Bills and Lions is tough. You think it will be an upset? Yeah, I do. I think the Bills win the game. I saw Stephen A. I didn't watch the segment, but I saw someone say Bills team total. I don't want to touch the over under or totals in that game, but I do think the Bills find a way to win it. Now, I know a lot of people have buyer's remorse about the Bills because of what happened last week, but no one here should have been betting the Bills or the Rams last week. That was a game where on this specific show, I said it's a bad spot for the Bills, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams beat them, but I don't want to bet it either way. And you're seeing there's a lot of variance with Rams performances, and we know when to bet them and we know when to hold off. Of course, we would have liked to bet them last night, but like I said, there's like lots of fucking variance with their performances. We just try to guess how they're going to play. Look at our Saints bet. Rams come in and play good the second half. They play great the second half, and they were absolutely horrendous the first half against the Saints. That's just kind of what you're getting with the Rams. So you better get down on the roller coaster, and you better be ready to wade through a lot of shit. As for the Bills Lions, I'm worried about the Bills run game in this. I mean, run defense. I think that's going to be an issue. But I also think the Lions defense is completely decapitated right now. And I've been saying the whole damn year, eventually you have to pay a price for Aiden Hutchinson being hurt. He's one of the best defensive players in this league. Like, honestly, like when he was when he was playing this year, he's the best defensive player. I mean, you could say like maybe Watt or Derwin James, but I feel like Watt's having a down year if we want to be critical. But you almost have the whole defensive line for the Lions out. I think Anzalone might play. Malcolm Rodriguez, a good linebacker's out. And I think the injuries are just racking up. And I think at this point, the Bills are going to have a different strategy. Normally, they like to sit in a too high shell and just let you run it. Look at against Miami. They let Miami run the ball. Did it go well? Not really, no. But that's their strategy. That's what they do. They want the two safeties wrap. And I'm fucking blanking on his name, and I use his name like every fucking video. DeMar Hamlin. They want Hamlin and Rapp buzzing around, creating turnovers, and I get it. And they want to make you meticulously drive it down the field. But I do think we see some more 8-man boxes. And I think Matt Milano coming back is an X factor for the Bills this game. And I think the Bills will be able to run it. Will be able to defend the run a little bit, not a lot. Like Montgomery's still going to go over his props, and Gibbs is still going to get his. But overall, like I just think Josh Allen is absolutely unstoppable right now, especially against a defensive line that is completely just decayed. Bills winning margin 1-6. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I don't like betting those, Alistair, to be honest. Like I'm not a big fan of betting that. But yeah. Yeah, no, Iron City, I get it. There's so many injuries for the Steelers. I don't really. Yeah, man, that Steelers-Eagles game. Thank you, Aubrey. I appreciate it. I do think we're the best gambling show. I think we've made a lot of money this year. Hello from Mexico. Who should I start, Shakir or Jacoby Meyer? Shout out to Mexico. Shakir. The Shakir player props. I did call that about the Rams Bills game. Shakir player props. Yeah, go Shakir. Although Jacoby Myers should eat against the bad secondary. You have a nice problem there, my friend. That's a good problem to have. Shakir or Jacoby Myers, but I'm going Shakir. No, yeah, dude, you guys know I vape. I'm not like smoking marijuana here. People did get mad about my Bill Belichick take on Instagram today. Maybe I'll go into that as the show goes on. Marine, hey John, what do you think about 6-point teaser? No names -1.5, love it. Pittsburgh +11.5, love it, and Bills +8.5. Also, Jets shouldn't be favored by 3.5 to anyone, in my opinion. You're probably right with the state of their coaching. But let's get to the teaser. Yeah, I think Washington's the perfect teaser candidate this week. Like, if you're going to do a 6-point teaser, they should be in your mix at least. Pittsburgh bringing it up to 11.5. Like, listen, it's a 42.5 over. Like, I don't think Pittsburgh's going to get blown the fuck out that game. Like, I think if the Eagles have success, they're going to be running it a ton, and that just like plays into the under. And like I said earlier, a little bit worried about Hurts. I'm going to have to eat crow on that because big Hurts fan here. Bills +8.5. Yeah, man. Because Marine, like, I don't like teasing, like I said earlier, like I don't like teasing 54.5, especially if we're going plus. Going the way like +2.5 to +8.5, but I think we kind of have to here because I think this is like a 1 to 6 point margin, like Alistair was saying. And I mean, I do think there's a possibility the Lions beat them. Obviously, I just think the Bills will keep it close. Like, even with everything going against the Bills last week, they still almost came back and beat the Rams, and they're gonna get down and score points. So you should be good on the 8.5. Nicholas Vincent, John Kloss, Money Man. Thanks for all the great picks. No, thank you, Nick. What do you think of this 3-team parlay? Pays +115. Miami +7.5. Well, the mathematics of that make a lot of sense to me. Washington Moneyline. Atlanta +3.5. I absolutely love it. I'm just worried about Miami generally. I feel like we know when to bet them. We know when to get off. Although Thanksgiving night was ugly, but if you drop a punt on the first drive, what the fuck are you going to do with a 10-point swing? I mean, that's just how betting goes. But why not add? Yeah, I think Miami should be good with the 7.5. I'm worried about Houston's defense. Really fucking worried about Houston's defense. And I didn't think I'd be saying those words going into this year. I really didn't. I really didn't. It's been bad, man. It's been bad. Okay. Richard Lockhart, are there any good teasers this week? And what's your favorite underdog this week to pull the upset? My favorite underdog is Tampa, and I want to bring Tampa to -5. Like I said, I'm really worried about the Chargers this week, and I know we bet them the last 2 weeks. I know we've been betting them a lot, and they've been cash for us. I just think it's time to get off the Chargers. We'll get back on them. Like, Ladd is questionable. Even if he's out there, like, I'm getting worried about the Chargers offense. And I think it's time we all accept the Tampa Bay Bucks have been a top 5 offense. And even if you don't like stats and all that stuff, and I know it sounds dirty with Chris Godwin out, when you judge their offense, and they might not have Bucky Irving, who I think has been their second best offensive player this year. I know it sounds dirty, but I think this Bucks offense, even if you're being very conservative, they've been a top 4 to 8 offense in the league. And I'm really worried about the Chargers offense. And the reason why the Chargers were a money pick last week is because what I said. The Chargers I mean, the Chiefs are an average offense. They're an average offense. The Bucks aren't. I can see a world where the Bucks run it up, and we're not getting much Chargers running game. And I said on the two videos this week, I feel vindicated. Herbert's injury is a lot more serious. And we have to start looking at that Chargers offense, how it was earlier in the year. Remember when we bet the Steelers big? I think it was week 3 at Heinz Field. And a big part of that was Herbert just didn't have the mobility. And these receivers do not create enough separation. And I know Tampa Bay's defense stinks, but listen, man, these guys aren't creating any separation. This Chargers offensive line has good pass blockers. They're a very good unit. It's just when guys don't create separation in 3.5, 4 seconds, your quarterback's going to take hits. And I'm not seeing how Herbert buys time. And trust me, like, this Tampa Bay pick wasn't the pick I wanted. Do I feel comfortable betting Tampa Bay +3? No, not really. But that's why I think I might go alt line Tampa -5. That's my favorite underdog of the week. Yeah, and with teasers, I would say the best 2-team teaser is to go no names and Bucks. And listen, I know it's hard for us to go away from the Chargers. We've been riding them like they've been an absolute gravy train for us. But we also know we also need to know when to get the fuck off the train too. Chris Clausell, 4 p.m. slate this week is playoff type caliber football. I agree. Should be good meat on the bone this week. Hope we can talk tonight on the Collins show. Yeah, Chris, come on with Lauren. Okay. Chris, I actually kind of like your Vikings take with the Vikings -7. I actually really like that. Cows! Lawson, what's up, bro? Can we trust the Bengals to run all over the Titans? I hope. But trust in the Bengals are like saying, do you trust the woman who's cheated on you 3 times? Are you sure? I mean, maybe, I guess, But yeah, we should be able to trust the Bengals, but shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? But yes, Cows, I do, Cows. Also, the Ravens after a bye and a loss, I think Ravens cover. -16 is it's up to 16.5 now. What is it, chat? Because every time I look at it, it fucking goes up. When me and Michael Mann were talking about it Sunday night, it was like fucking 12.5. But yeah, I think Ravens cover. And with Carr and Taysom Hill out, do we take Washington with the points? Yes, we do. Let's not overthink it. Commanders have been an absolute train for us this year. Absolutely love them. Donovan Shepard. What's up, Donovan? Lawson, what's good? Feeling the Bills to upset Detroit this Sunday. Also, do you like the Eagles -2.5? I do like the Eagles -2.5. But concerns about that, obviously. Yeah, but yes, Eagles 2.5. Like, let's calm down with my caution about it. Like, I've been waiting to get against the Steelers the whole year. Donovan, if you need to get against the Steelers, if you're fucking itching to get against them, like, I can't stop you there. And honestly, I don't want to stop you because your instincts are right from a football perspective, scheme perspective, a data perspective. Like, this Steelers team is an absolute data catastrophe waiting to happen. I feel like the only thing I want to bet in this game is Mike Williams props. Like, I think Mike Williams is going to eat, and he's going to get 3 or 4 deep balls, and I think that's going to be good for us. About the Bills, yeah, man, Donovan, I think the Bills win. I do. It's not pretty, and I've been, like I told you guys, like, I've been saying the last 4 weeks, whether people want to listen or not, I do feel like we're buying awful high on Detroit. And I do feel like if you're betting Detroit, you're betting at the top of the market. Like you're buying Microsoft right now instead of buying a young startup. Like that's a fucking poor example. Let's not even go there. But I do feel like you're paying top of the market. Like, and if you bet the Chiefs this week, you're kind of getting bottom of the market. Should that stop you if you think you can make money? No, but I do think it's something to consider. Like, I do think the Bills beat their ass, man. Like, I'm not beat their ass, but I think the Bills win by a field goal. And I think this Bills offense is more of a train than the Lions offense, as crazy as that sounds. Casper 750s just want to say I approve of you. Trust in money making Lawson. Thank you, Casper. Hopefully there's some money being printed this weekend. I'm feeling pretty good about it. We got 2 big bets so far that are already posted. So the other ones I'm going to go soft on. Let's be honest about it, but ready for this weekend. Robin, we had some games this season where we called it best bet and hit. What, Robin? The best bets hit 7 weeks in a fucking row. Some games, the best bets hit 7 weeks in a row. And then I tell you guys to go hard. Like 1 week, there were 3 where I told you to go hard. Remember that week when we got the Bills? I actually think the Bills lost to the Dolphins. Then we had the Rams, and then we had the Commanders against the Giants. I told everyone to go hard on those 3 games. And then the other 2, the small bets hit. But yeah, Robin, like the best bet's been slamming. I wouldn't say it's a college fun game. Like I wouldn't say it's a college fun game this week on there. And I don't know when it's coming. The college fun normally comes like I said, there's like one college fun this year when the Steelers played the Chargers. The Commanders to the Giants, I got to be honest, like that was a really close one for me to being a college fun. But you guys also saw how that almost didn't hit, even though the Commanders dominated the game and they were up fucking 14 the whole second half. So, like, I got to tell you guys, that Commanders one had me a little bit scared. Even though it was technically an easy cover as they get in this league, it still had me a little bit scared how it almost got backdoored. So, like I said, I've been telling people to go hard, best bet. Like, I'm under no inkling to, like, force a huge bet. I got to be honest, because every time I told you guys to go hard this year, it's hit. And I just don't think there's any reason to be desperate. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling the desperation, but I also manage my money really well. Like, I'm not betting the Thursday night games like you guys. I'm not betting every Monday night game like you guys. Like, I save my resources, and when it's best bet, I do go hard. Like, but I always bet responsibly, but like I bet responsibly big. But yeah, some they've all hit. I can't think of a time I told people to go hard this year and they didn't hit. But also, like, we know how this game goes. These games come down to 4 or 5 plays. So caution's the best policy. Hey, John, hope you get your Christmas shopping done. I actually did get it done. So I did get it done. Hey, John, hope you get your Christmas shopping done from Derek. What's up, Derek? Wishing you guys well, my man. Yeah, we're doing good, Derek. Hope you and your family have a great Christmas, great New Year's. What 2 to 3 games would you take off this 7-point teaser? Ravens -9.5. Let's think about that. Bengals +2. KC +3. Miami +10. Washington -0.5 point. Buffalo +9.5. Philly +1.5 points. Minnesota. Okay, keep Minnesota. Keep Buffalo. Keep no names. Keep Dolphins. Listen, like, take off Chiefs. I think I've told you to take off the Chiefs all this year, and I think it's been saving. Um, let's gamble a little bit. Let's. The only one I would take off is KC. I would take off KC and Philly, just based purely on math. But let's go Baltimore -9.5. Let's go Cincy +2. We're gambling a little bit there because they can lay an egg. Miami +10. No names -0.5 point. Buffalo +9.5. And mini should be on everyone's tease list. I know people don't like waiting to Monday night, but let's be a little bit patient there. Robin, do you like Atlanta to win division at +190 or Rams at even money? Rams at even money because I think the Bucks win this week against the Chargers. If you tell me the Bucks lose this week, maybe it might change my equation. But listen, I think Atlanta wins and covers this week. It's a money pick, but we know they can give away that game to the Raiders. We know the Raiders are a tough out. I have to go the Rams right now. Like, I really like this Rams defensive line. Like, I get the Florida State jokes, but I really like Nakua, Cup, Williams, Stafford when they're healthy, and I really like this Rams defensive line. I feel like the Rams are peaking, and it's a young squad, man. It's a young squad with experience in the right areas. I trust them to peak. And listen, I was big on Raheem Morris getting that Atlanta job. I'm fucking worried about him. Like, I know everyone's worried about Kirk, and you got to be on like fucking like 10 Xanax not to worry about Kirk Cousins if you're a Falcons better or a Falcons fan. Like, take the Xanax, like, I guess. But I'm more worried about Raheem Morris than Kirk Cousins. I don't know about you guys. Lawson, Carr, and Kamara most likely out. Are we getting Kamara out? Oh, that'd be a Christmas miracle. Can someone check in the YouTube chat if Kamara is out? I knew he was banged up. I thought he was limited in practice today, but I could be wrong. Okay, Carr and Kamara most likely out, and Taysom Olave on IR. Is there a world in which the Saints cover against the no-names? Yes, there is a world. Because the no-names have won us a lot of money this year, but also there was that game against the Cowboys where they completely laid an egg. There was that game. And Cliff Kingsbury, listen, I feel like Cliff's been one of the better offensive coordinators this year, Lawton. But he is kind of following the same trend that he did with Zona. Once it gets to week 10, once it gets to week 11, the plays, the game plans start falling off. Do I think he's going to be rejuvenated after this bye week? Yes. Do I trust Jaden Daniels? Yes. Do I trust Jaden Daniels more than any young quarterback in this league right now? I do. That's why I think the no-names winning the cover, make it a damn money pick, whatever you want to do with it. But yes, there's always a world where these teams can cover. Like, there's a world where the Giants could beat the Ravens. Like, let's be honest, this league is crazy. It's the funnest to bet, and we make money betting it. But a lot of people say to me, Lawson, I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you do it. This league is impossible to bet. It's tough, but it's not impossible. And you just have to have you should have to be cautious about all of this shit because like these teams do not give up. And that's one thing people need to know. Like that's where I'm at on it. Okay, Slurry Pumper. Hi, John. Hope all is well. It's good, Slurry. Hope it's good for you. I hate parlays, but Houston -3 coupled with over 46.5 is calling me. Miami can't beat a team with a winning record. Miami also can't stop mid to upper quarterbacks from throwing on them. Houston 31-21 to the end, making it a rocking chair parlay. Well, I don't know if you're asking for my advice, but I don't know, man. Biggest Stroud fan there is. I'm worried. Biggest D'Amico Ryans fan there is. I'm worried. Worried about this Texans defense. I'm just worried. I'm worried. I'm even worried about the over in this game, to be honest. I'm worried about some of the possessions I see out of the Texans offense. I'm worried about the Texans defense I saw against the Titans and Jags. I kind of felt like Stroud would have a sophomore slump type season. Did I think he would struggle how he did? No. Did I see like a Jets Packers performance coming that he had this year? No. But I did feel like Stroud would have a little bit of a sophomore slump. Not that that changes anything about my perception of him as a future elite quarterback. No, it doesn't. But I felt like this Texans defense would be top 5, and I got really scared with the shit I saw against the Titans and Mac Jones. I got really scared, Slurry. Dicko, all the best this week, John. I love the college Commanders. I mean, the Commanders got a college-type vibe. I don't know if anyone has better vibe and energy on the sidelines than them. They just play with passion, and you love to see it. What's up, Dicko? Francesco, how are you feeling about the Bengals -5 now? I think I addressed this earlier, and thank you for the question, my man. And yeah, I feel good about the Bengals, but every bet with them is with an extreme amount of caution, the most caution possible. But yeah, I do think they cover it. Angela, I'm concerned about the Jets being one of the worst coach teams I've ever seen. So, Rance, I don't know about college football being the best to bet. I mean, Del J, I'm not really worried about I'm not saying Callahan is a better coach than Raheem Morris. What I am saying is I'm worried about Raheem Morris when he's coaching games. I'm worried about how this defense takes a step back. I'm worried about when I see their secondary literally falling like bad news bears against my Minnesota Vikings. I'm worried about that. Glad you're a beta. What does that mean? Is he calling me a beta male? Josh Belay. Hey, Lawson, appreciate all the videos and hard work you do. No, I appreciate you, bro. Not necessarily parlaying these all together, but wanted to know your thoughts on the following bets. Rodgers over 1.5 touchdowns at plus money. You're bold. I like it, unfortunately. Dude, Rodgers is playing for a deal. So I feel like we're seeing him play hard. We saw his best game of the year against the Fins. It's maybe the best game he played in fucking 4 years. He's an intransient motherfucker, man. Jets money line, they should win. Bengals money line, they should win. Eagles -5. Would go the Steelers with the 5. Justice Hill over 12.5 yards. I don't know, man. The Ravens' offensive distribution is so weird. Zay Flower, for instance, just giving an example of the Ravens' offensive distribution. Every single week, the Zay Flowers props are 50, 55.5. And either he goes off for 140 or he goes off for 25 yards. The distribution with Todd Monken and that Ravens offense is all over the place. So I wouldn't possibly try to nail down Justice Hill over 12.5 yards. Probably will happen, though. Bills over 27.5 points. I don't think that's I think they go over the 27.5 points, but I think I'd rather go the over on the Bengals team total. Our Ravens first half 6.5. Now that's a better bet. That's a better bet. I like that. Thanks again, dude. Let's get this money. Yeah, man. I don't hate any of it. It's just I have heard that Bills team total gandered about an awful lot. And yeah, man, I always like when two really great teams play, I always err on the side of the caution with the overs on anything, whether it be team total or full game. I always err on the side of caution. I look like an idiot when the Lions played the Packers. I look like a genius in the Rams 49ers. So I think my way of being cautious works more than there's just let's go over. Juicy Purser cooking up a 6-point teaser. Any other picks you would add? Bills plus 8.5, Steelers plus 11.5, Bucks plus 9. No, but I would be interested in the Hawks and maybe the Vikings to that list. And no names, but I feel like we're already committed to the no names. So I don't think there's any reason to add that if you're already. I don't want to give away the bets. J-Bar, Lawson, I know the Jets are sickening. Oh, they are. But I have to load up on them versus the Jags. J-Bar, you do it for me, so I don't have to, but I want to. I really want to. How about Isaiah Davis sneaking over 37.5? Well, J-Bar, he was phenomenal against the Dolphins last week, and the Dolphins have a very good run defense, in my opinion. And listen, it seemed like he was better than Allen, and I thought Allen was going to be the workhorse, and Allen probably got more carries than Isaiah Davis, but Isaiah Davis had some really strong runs. He's a small, shifty guy. Maybe I would even load that Isaiah Davis up with combined receiving and rushing. Now, I know they like throwing the ball to Allen more, but I don't know, man. Isaiah Davis was pretty fucking good. And the supposed strength of the Jags defense is the run game, but we've seen teams run it on him the whole year. So I like that. I think that's sneaky. Ron Borquin, let's get this money, Lawson. 6-point teaser thoughts. No names minus 1.5. Like it. Vikings pick them. I think the Vikings are a great teaser option this week. Broncos plus 2. Yeah, we just aren't getting a lot of value with the Broncos. I would just go like Broncos money line. The white guy, is the Panthers still? Oh, well, I can't answer that. I can't. You will see tonight. I will clarify tonight when I post the bets, white guy. Okay, here we go. Rowdy, what's up, Rowdy? What's up, Lawson? What do you think of this teaser? Bills plus 9.5. I love it. Like, I think the Bills are a great teaser option, even though we got to respect the math. Bucks plus 9.5. Love it. Zona minus 1. Ugh. Yeah, guys, I'm not seeing a Patriots long shot. I know, like, messing with Zona is a risk. I get it. I'm just not seeing a Patriots long shot, although we will have some Drake May props in the props video. I'm not seeing a Patriots long shot. Like, their offensive line sucks too bad. Washington minus 1.5. Yeah. I like the teaser. I might just add the Vikings instead of Zona, but Zona should be fine. It really should. I think Chris says I think Bills win at Detroit this week. Torres 29.74. What's up, Lawson? I think the Lions will win the first half, then jump on the Bills. I get you. I don't know, man. I think at a certain point when you have like a full defensive line now, I think it makes a difference. Okay, here we go. Let's get Lauren on. Yeah, my mic should be good. Jared, I with the player props, I'm going Bucks alts. That's the player props. Bucks alts. But yeah, man. I'm doing the player prop video tonight. So, Michael, man, if you want to come on, we'll get Chris on. We'll get Lauren on. If you can come on. But yeah, and I have a lot of props this week. I have quite a bit of props this week. So yeah, let me get to. I really should be doing these videos later because when me and Michael Mann did the stream like Sunday night at midnight, had like a lot of people in. It's just we need to get the bets up, and I have this like routine like a dog, like you know how a dog like they need their walk at a certain time or they get grumpy. I've just been posting the bets after the Friday show for so long. I don't know if I want to post them later, especially because we have soccer ones early. Okay, I'll do a top 5 props. But yeah, most of the time, like the prop I want you to bet is the thumbnail. Thumbnail is undefeated this year on the props video. Sam Darnold alts last week. I told you guys. I also like the Sam Darnold alts this week. There's our bottom 5 in pressure the last 7 weeks. What does Sam Darnold do when he doesn't get pressure? He puts up yards. When he gets pressure, he sucks. And you even could see that the Cardinals game when he got pressure, he was terrible. When the Vikings were blocking and using play action, he was insanely good. Oh, Jonnu Smith cows. It was weird. The usage of Jonnu Smith last week was weird, cows. They didn't throw it to him until like the fucking fourth quarter. It was weird. I felt like it was weird. But what are they giving Jonnu's player props? Okay, yeah, dude, that's good you took it. Yeah, I know they swarmed that, and they were good. They were giving good information. Like it was necessary because I'm not going to look at the spreads, and I'm not someone who looks ahead. Yeah, Mike, they were phenomenal. I'm not someone who looks ahead to next week. Everyone wants me looking ahead to next week. I'm here and now on Sunday. I'm worried about the fucking games on Sunday. A lot of money in play, a lot of reputation in play. But yeah, like they were fucking ready on Sunday night. We'll do that again. I really should have been doing that before. I did feel like I changed some picks too since then. Like I got off the Chargers because I just got worried. Mike, I sent the. Are they really giving me? Yeah, I don't know why they're. Okay. My bad. My bad. My bad. Mike, I sent the invite if you want to come on. I'll send Chris a message on Patreon, see if he wants to come on. I think Lauren's waiting to get in. Okay, 1 second. Let me find Chris. Okay, 1 second. Chris. Okay. All right, Chris, I sent it. Lauren, I'm gonna just use the bathroom real quick.
Okay, I'm here.
So you can just go off on the Eagles game. I saw you in the comment section.
Yeah, I'm pretty high on the Eagles this week. Sorry, my phone was ringing. I see, and AJ Brown and just all the weapons they have. The Steelers' defense has not really impressed me enough to stop a high-flying Eagles team that we are seeing right now. since the bye, the Eagles have been absolutely just unstoppable. Just unstoppable, in my opinion. So I know that he's going to. Oh, sorry, I'm going to lose my light, guys. But
hang on, let me get out of here.
I'm the passenger in a car right now, so that I can do this. So if the
Landon doing this.
So if the lights come on and off,
I'll be back.
I'll
be back tonight.
Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So, anyways.
I am. Can you give me just a minute, please?
Sorry.
Please.
You guys want to see my friend, my chauffeur? That's my friend Kristen.
Hey, y'all.
She's driving.
She's making me do this.
She's driving to our poker game so that I can be on here for you guys. Anyway, so one thing that I didn't get to see all of the show as I was driving. Yes, I am high on the Eagles, Chris. Chris says hi, Kristen.
Okay, that's all right. Well, we got Chris and Mike in here now.
Lauren, are you
What's
at the
up,
bar?
everybody?
What the fuck did I just see?
No, I'm the passenger in my car. I have my friend driving so that I can be on the show with you guys.
Oh,
yeah, I was hearing
okay.
voices. I was like, "What are those voices?
Yeah.
Is that in my head or is that in your car?"
Chris and
No,
I were
I'm
just Chris and I were just sitting in the back room, like, what the hell is going on here?
I know. Well, John went to the bathroom and left me on the show, and I literally just got on here, and I was okay. But I was reading.
Well,
some of the
I
chat.
thought you had a strong take on this Steelers Eagles. Like, I got to be honest. I'll let you guys talk about it. I was just out of all the games to want to bet this week. Like, why bet that? And I want to get against the Steelers so bad. It's just I don't think this is the spot. But
I think it's a spot because I don't think the Steelers are going to be able to handle Barkley, and I haven't seen enough out of the Steelers defense against teams that are below the Eagles for them to come against the Eagles and be there. And the Eagles defense to me has just been stout. So I just don't think they're going to have enough.
okay,
Lawson,
I like that.
I think you hit the nail right on the head in the Tuesday video. I think the bet to hit here is the Steelers points total under. I think that's where we go, especially with Pickens out. I mean, we just don't know how Russell Wilson is going to look against a secondary as good as this, without his best receiver. So I think the under, is it 20 now? Is it 20?
I think so.
Because that's what I would go for. If I'm going to bet this game.
That's the other problem is Pickens is out. That's a big problem to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it is. Mike Williams has been high pointing footballs. He can do similar things, but I get it. It's a problem, but
I mean, I would lay off. I mean, the over under. If you want to go totals, that's probably the better way to go. Other than that, you probably want to tease this down if you're going to go heavy on Philly. Philly's going to win the game. I'm pretty confident in that. But do I think they're going to cover 5.5? I think it's a little steep.
I know. I think it's one touchdown. I don't think it's a problem. But
yeah, I don't feel confident. I mean, there's so much meat on the bone this week. It's like, why do you have to? I understand it's a playoff type atmosphere. There's a lot of playoff caliber games this week, and people are going to be wanting to bet them. But you have to take caution because the money is important, and where you're placing the money. I mean, there's so many avenues to make money this week, and you just don't want to take irresponsible chances.
I'll tell you what though, guys. One thing that I didn't hear anyone talking about because I did get in here late is I might be on my own on a ledge by myself, maybe jumping it, but I'm on Indy this week.
I don't know. I can't.
I'm not touching that.
No.
Can't bet. I'm not betting Anthony Richardson against that Denver defense.
If he's going to throw 50 yards down the field, then I have confidence. But if he's throwing, 10, 15, 20-yard passes, he's just inaccurate. He's a wild card, but I mean, it's too wild.
I'm the biggest Sean Payton backer, For some reason, I think Indy has a chance with the +4.
I think Denver's
I
at
really do.
home. I think they cover. I think Denver covers that 4 points at home.
We'll see. I'm not confident enough to lay money on it yet, but that's the side that I'm leaning to. I'm also
Yeah,
on Green Bay.
you guys go on. I'm just trying to find this team total for the Steelers.
Lauren, I have a question for you. So you've been very a lot of people are dunking on the Saints this week, saying that the Commanders are going to kill them. And I'm genuinely curious to hear your opinion about that 7.5.
What is it now? 7.5?
It's 7.5. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion, like a strong opinion either way. I just want to hear what you think.
Well, we're getting Jake Hayner. Not Mr. Rattler. We're getting Jake Hayner. So there's a lot of unnoticed, whether it's talent or not talent. So I don't know that I can support either side yet. Only because, here's the thing. Taysom Hill being out is rough. Kamara, somebody said Kamara was out, but I thought he practiced today.
I don't know who said that, but I thought I was wrong. I haven't seen anything about that.
Yeah, dude, I get so much wrong injury and stuff. Like it's. So he's playing.
I thought he practiced today. Yeah, I thought he practiced today. So if Kamara's out, then absolutely, I would take 7.5 all day. But if Kamara's playing, it doesn't look as sexy to me.
Yeah, for the Steelers one, it's kind of a no-go because Bet365 has it like this. Under 16.5 for the Steelers are +120.
Are you
Under
kidding me?
19.5 is -140. So that's what they're giving us. So
Bro,
when I
that's-
saw it,
Yeah.
it was 18.5 -110. And they
The
moved it.
Eagles could have a stupid turnover, and the Steelers could get to half of that by just from that alone.
Easy.
Dang.
Dude, Hurts is going to turn it over if they stop Saquon Barkley.
Oh yeah, dude. I think there's a world. First off, I think this -5.5 for Philadelphia is super disrespectful to Pittsburgh. I think there's a world where the Steelers win this.
Dude, I think there's a world where they win it too. If they listen, I think the Steelers are weak against the run. Okay, but I doubt they're going to let Saquon go for 120, 130 yards. So if they stop him, man, Hurts has been bad. And then he's running into pressure. He's floating when there's no pressure. And
he's running into sacks too.
Dude, that's what he's doing. And the Eagles have a top 5 offensive line. And then also, if you look at the Eagles, they're not going to chip Watt. They're not going to chip Highsmith. They're going to just leave their tackles on an island. So eventually Watt's going to have a day. Watt's had a really quiet season this year, man. Really fucking quiet.
That's part of what concerns me. Is Watt has not been as effective as normal, and fundamentally,
he's still pretty damn effective.
I think Pickens being out is more of a problem than people think.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's not good, man.
I get that. I'm just looking at the Steelers defense as potentially being able to slow down the Eagles offense.
What about the Eagles defense?
Eagles defense is good.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't deny that. That's a tough one.
For me, it's like a game that I want to watch and enjoy. And why am I going to stress myself out over not a sure thing? There's so many other games that are out there this week where there's money to be made. I'm going to put myself into an early grave over betting this game. Either way, think about how everybody, and including myself, has slammed Russell Wilson all year. He's coming out. He's throwing the ball downfield. He's on the money. He's throwing dimes. He's shocking me. The defense of Pittsburgh has been great. We're calling them lucky and this and that, but they're consistently winning. At what point do we say this team is actually good?
There's high variance with deep balls, though. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm waiting to get against him. It's just, I don't know, man. Someone's got some noise going on in the background. I don't know what it is. But But yeah, I don't know, something's going on in the background. But yeah, man, like Steelers are good. I just want to get against them, but not the week. So what game you want to get on, Chris?
Well, I'm going to tell you what I think is a lot this week is Miami, and I know a lot of people are fading them because they didn't play well against the Jets last week. But a lot of the players were calling each other out on defense for a lot of arm tackles and bullshit hustle. And Miami's got their back against the wall. I mean, if they don't have room to lose another game if they want to make the playoffs. Their backs are against the wall. They're going to a place where they're not in cold weather. I think they kind of dispelled all that. They can't beat.
It is a dome.
Yep, and I think they kind of dispelled that whole narrative that they can't beat winning teams when they handily beat the Rams pretty good. And I think with the defense is going to play a lot better this week. And again, the Jets played very well last week. It was and I went very hard on the Dolphins last week, probably harder than I should have, and I lucked out. But I think they're gonna come together this week on defense and play better on both sides of the ball. So I have them as a lock for me this week. They're getting 2.5, 3 on some books. So
No, I'm with you, man. And to your point, like Miami needs this game. I mean, if the Texans beat the Dolphins and the Chargers and Broncos win, the AFC playoff picture is like pretty much locked up. I mean, as it stands, the Dolphins have a 10% chance of making the playoffs. I can't imagine what that number goes to if they lose this week. So Miami
goes to 0.
needs. Yes. Okay. So it goes basically 0. So Miami needs this game. So you got to think that McDaniels is going to leave everything out there, and the Texans are not playing well. Like,
their offense has been suspect all year.
Lauren, enter the studio again because I accidentally muted your mic. So just enter the studio again. 1 second, I'll remove you. But 1 second. Okay, Okay, it's not letting me unmute. I got a kicker. My bad. Okay. Anyways, go on. Yeah, man. I just want to bet Dolphins here. But
you wouldn't even sprinkle the money line.
I don't think the price is good enough. Anyways, like the thing with the Dolphins is they're going to take a lot of heat when they step back and pass. So I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know. Like they need to get deep balls, and that's what you can get against the Texans, but they don't throw it more than like 15 yards now. So, and I don't know if the problem against the Jets was tackling. They just couldn't cover anyone. And schematically, they got their ass eaten by the Jets. Like, there's Garrett Wilson one-on-one over the middle against fucking linebackers. Like, it was bad, man. Like, it was a bad performance. And the Texans are a legit good team. Miami's a legit good team, too, but that's where
I just don't like the Texans' offense. I think they're overrated. I think they've been overrated all year.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. I support this comment.
Here we go.
The defense is okay.
Yeah, but like, who said they're like a good offense? Like, yeah, like they're overrated, but also he had fucking Tank Dell hurt, Stephon Diggs out for the whole year, and once they get Nico Collins back, they've been better. The reason why I would like agree with Chris if I had a better side, I bet Miami, is because I'm concerned about some of the shit I saw from the Texans defense. Like, that's where I'm at. So.
Yeah. I don't know how you let Will Levis go for 27 on you.
Or Mac Jones and like
right, or Mac Jones.
I mean, it's ridiculous. They're not that good.
Yeah. Texans play the Chiefs and Ravens. Texans play the Chiefs and Ravens the next 2 weeks, and I am looking to fade them.
I'm not betting that.
Oh, if the spread's good, I'm definitely getting against Houston.
But yeah, man. Anyways, yeah, next game.
Yeah, can we just go back to the Saints real quick and Washington?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just real quick. I mean, I got 7.5. I just don't. I mean, the Saints don't have anybody to throw to, and they have nobody to throw the ball. I mean, what are we doing here? I know the Saints are at home, but how does Washington not cover the 7.5? I know anything over 6 is a little taboo, especially when you're going over a touchdown. But I mean, I kind of see this being a blowout. I mean, does Jaden Daniels not go off?
Think he goes off, man.
Yeah,
and maybe we're overthinking it. I mean, this is a team that barely beat the Giants last week.
Oh, Mike, I'm not overthinking this. Like when I
I know you're not.
But
I'm
everybody
speaking to
has
two of
weeks
us.
where you're just not clicking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's football. You know what I'm saying? It could have been anything. I mean, it could have been, somebody's girlfriend had a bad day. Like, I mean, it's not. I mean, I don't see it. I don't see it as a trend. You know, it's not that the Saints are a bad organization. It's just they just don't have any players left. There's nobody left. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's true. Yeah, we're really very much on life support. So I think it's going to be a very troublesome game. I personally would probably lay it with Washington. I just don't. The one thing that concerns me is the whole the backup quarterback coming in, and all of a sudden with any team, there's that rejuvenation and people play for them, and just like they did for Drake May, and so it makes me a little nervous with that many points, but in the fundamentally you're supposed to take Washington here.
I get that, but I mean, it's Jake Haener. I don't think he's that guy.
I don't even know who he is.
I didn't say he's who we drafted. I didn't say he was. I'm just saying there's that whole factor. You know what
right?
I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Who is he? Gloria Gaynor? Who is he? I never
Jake
heard of
Haener.
Gloria Gaynor. Jake Haener. He's who we drafted in the 5th round last year.
It's pretty sad they're not starting Rattler. That's pretty bad.
Mike, I got to tell you something.
What you got?
Mike, I got to tell you something that DJ Moore said this week.
Oh, what did he say?
You might have even referred to this when we did the show on Sunday. I'm starting to think Vikings -7's in play here because I'm hearing crazy shit out of Chicago, and I knew it was bad. And here's what DJ Moore said: they don't do scripted plays. They don't do scripted play. Have you ever heard of anything that fucking insane?
I mean, I'm not surprised. Dude, Thomas Brown. So, I saw Bears fans hyping up Thomas Brown the second he was promoted to offensive coordinator. He was the Panthers' offensive coordinator last year with Frank Reich after he got fired. And believe it or not, our offense somehow got worse during that stretch. So I don't think Thomas Brown is all that at all. I know he had a few good games in a row, but I mean, he clearly was in over his head last week against the Niners. And I don't think this is your long-term answer, Bears fans.
Okay, so can we talk about that for 1 second? Do you guys remember when I said San Fran was going to run all over Chicago last week?
Yeah.
Anybody remember that?
I was wrong. I'll take that. I was wrong.
Lauren.
Well, I'm just saying that goes to show you how bad Chicago is.
No, I'm with you. Yeah.
Lauren, Chicago is absolute dog shit.
And they had no business getting red like that.
I love Minnesota this week. John, you saw it in Patreon. I mean, I think it's. I mean, their offense has been clicking. I mean, they're scoring. I mean, they're getting hot right at the right time. Both sides of the ball are playing very well. I don't think the Bears are in complete disarray. 7 is a gimme for me. I love this pick. I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't tease it. I would just leave it as it is. 7's a buy, and I'm buying it.
So I think the two things that scare me about this game, and these are not scientific answers. Number one, the Bears played the Vikings very competitively that time or last time. And I know the Vikings should have blown them out, but still, that has to be in your mind a little bit when you're betting this game. And number two, this is Monday Night Football. And weird stuff happens on prime time. We see teams that are ass show up on prime time. So I think those are where my two concerns are. But like you said, on paper, Vikings should win this, no problem.
And Mike, I worry about the Vikings' performance levels. But
that too.
Here's the data I would use because Chicago's front, they can't really stop the run the whole year. We already knew that. So if the Vikings get the run game going, they're pretty dominant. But also, last 6-7 weeks, Chicago's bottom 5 in pressuring the quarterback. And like I said last week about Sam Darnold in terms of the props, if he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league if he's not pressured. So I don't see them pressuring him. So
Yeah,
and then they start slow, and then you get a negative game script with Flores blitzing Caleb Williams. Like
that's a good point.
Aren't they the Monday night game?
Yes. So the schedule, I want to talk about the schedule is so funny this week. We start out at 1 p.m. on Sunday, and we have like literally every ass game there is this week to the point where Panthers and Cowboys is like being shown to 70% of the nation. Then you go to the 4 o'clock slate, and it's like all the games of the year are lined up on 4 o'clock. We got
it's
Bills.
like week 1 of the playoffs.
Right, yeah, we got Bills, Lions, we got Steelers, Eagles, we got Chargers, Bucks, like all these wild card round worthy playoff games. The Sunday night game is good, and then we have 2 ass games on Monday night again with Falcons, Raiders, and Vikings, Bears. So this schedule's hilarious. I just wanted to say
Who does
that.
this?
I don't know, but it's hilarious. It's kind of funny.
No, and they've been moving games to like 4 o'clock and 1 o'clock, but I'm not sure the rationale here. If it was the Chiefs playing a big game at 4, they would move everyone to 1. So it's like
everybody.
Oh yeah,
they would they would move them to 7.
Oh, and they would find a way.
Yeah, they'd find a way to move them to the night game.
Yeah, dude. We need Jameis Winston to beat the Chiefs this week.
Oh, please.
Like, that would
Anybody
be
out there
please.
that's trying to bet KC this week, don't do it. Don't bet
please,
KC
Jameis. In Jameis we trust. Please beat the Chiefs this week. It would be the most legendary thing ever.
They're not covering 4 points. They're not covering 4 points. KC's not covering 4 points.
You don't think so?
No.
I hope so. Jameis Winston magic. I hope this just turns into like a 40 to 41
they haven't
shootout.
Covered all year.
I'll tell you this, though. I am on Tampa this week.
Oh, I know. Like, dude.
It's
time to get off the Chargers.
What are the Bucks getting 3? Bucks are getting 3.
I don't know, man. I haven't liked that game since the second I saw it. Like,
no, Mike, it's
just difficult because the Chargers can't catch the ball.
Everybody wants to bet this Bills and Detroit game. Is this not more of a coin flip, or like, do we think? Are we? I like the Bills, I do, but I need someone to make it make sense to me to bet it.
Okay, you just had a guy that ran for 3 touchdowns and threw for another 3 and lost the game. He's pissed off. And I'm going to tell you something. Somebody who's watched the AFC East his whole life, and watched this guy. This is a guy you don't want to piss off. I think he's going to come out here and he's going to torch the defense of the Lions. I know the Lions are at home. It doesn't matter. Josh Allen's going to go off. He's pissed off.
So I should be betting them because I'm on the Bills. I just didn't know if it was like.
I mean, the Bills are getting 2.5 points. I mean, I think they went outright. I mean,
I think they're getting 1.5, right?
No, 2.5.
I got him at 2.5 on bet now.
It's 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on the line. I want to thank the guy that I gave me the bet now app. That was very nice of you.
What's that?
I said I want to thank the guy a couple of weeks ago who gave me the Bet Now app. I was on Bet US. I still am, but the Lions. Remember, I was getting the Lions at like 11 points, plus 11 when they were at 7 a few weeks back. And somebody on here put me on to Bet Now. They made me jump through hoops to get a payout. I took a $1,300 payout last week, and they made me give my kidney and give DNA to Ancestry.com and all that to get a payout. But I finally
it's funny you said that. I literally hit up Lauren. This week for how to get my payout on Hard Rock.
Oh my gosh!
Because it's that bad.
Yeah, I mean it's really bad. I got my ID, a passport, a billing statement. Like I said, DNA test. It was bad. Urine sample, and finally it came through. So
it's sad. It's sad. I live in like the craziest bureaucracy place in the world. If I need to get money out of Bet365, like they said, I can get it in 10 seconds.
Well, it's only it's the first payout. That's what it is, and then after that, it becomes normal. After that,
they say.
I think I might have to fade Zona this week.
Listen, if you're gonna play Arizona, you need to tease that down. They're at 6 right now. I mean, that's not good. I mean, you can't give Arizona 6 points. They've been playing like dog shit for the last few weeks. Their offense has been horrible.
Thank you.
He's throwing interceptions that are unnecessary. He's not. I mean, as soon as we praised him as being a top 10 quarterback, he comes out the next 3 weeks and just throws dog shit. So, I'm fading that game all day against the Pats. Actually, I think the Pats are in a good spot for an upset. I think Drake May is going to have a decent game, and I think that's not a game that I want to touch at all.
Yeah, and about no one mentioned strength of schedule while betting NFL. Chargers and Skins hasn't beaten anyone. Well, the Commanders aren't playing anyone this week, so it's kind of like the same perception. So it doesn't really matter because they're playing a shit team. Like that's where I'm at. So Chargers, I think Chargers play plenty of good teams.
No, the Chargers played good teams this week. I mean, they beat the Bengals. The Bengals are a good team, even though they're
Bengals are a really good team.
They've played good teams.
They've played Kansas City. They've played Pittsburgh. They've played the Bengals.
They've played good teams close. They just don't win.
Who, the Chargers?
Yeah, they lost the Bengals. Or no, they beat the Bengals. I'm sorry.
They beat the Bengals.
Wrong about that one. They lost to the Ravens. They lost twice to the Chiefs.
I took the Chargers and then flipped on that game, so I lost when I was in New York. Yeah, I mean, I still have bad dreams about that game. Yeah, I bet that.
Go ahead.
No, I think the Chargers are really good. The defense saves them a lot. I just that their receivers can't catch passes. And if you can't catch passes, you can't get first downs. And your starting running back has been hurt. I mean, Gus
and they're
Edwards is not
taking
the
so much
answer.
pressure because I think one thing I was trying to say, like in the two videos I talked about that game this week, Herbert's taking so much pressure because what you said, these receivers, they don't create any separation. Now he's got that ankle injury. And one reason why we got against him against the Steelers was because he couldn't fucking move. And I'm not saying it's the same severity of an injury, but you saw his mobility in the Chiefs game before and after. And on Discord, I went off on Harbaugh because – man, Harbaugh reverted to how he was earlier in the year. They should have beat the Chiefs. For instance, in that first half, they punt at the 50-yard line on like a 4th and 2 when they're playing Pat Mahomes. Then they have maybe the best long-range kicker in the league in Dicker. They have a 56-yarder. Then they punt it into the end zone, and you have like a 20-yard net on that. And you're just saying like, okay, like are they – poised to even win a game against a good team because they don't have an elite offense. And the offense has been really faltering the last 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm off of that.
They're dropping passes. That the receivers have stone hands. They're dropping. If McConkey ain't out there, then what are they throwing at? It's like they're throwing at the wall.
Yeah, they're in trouble.
I hate watching the Chargers.
Late scratch of McConkey, which really was a gut blow in that game. Like I said, it was going to be a cover regardless. It sucked.
You want to know what, John? I got information that he was going to be out, and I put it on Discord, and then everybody was saying that he was practicing, and then I went heavy on the Chargers, and then he didn't play, and then they won. It was almost like God saved me on that one.
Or they covered.
Really
he was Wednesday and Friday. Like it's just they're pretty much just like throwing the injury report into the proverbial shredder because why do we do the injury report anymore? Why?
I don't know. Because I would not have bet that game if I would have known, and I went heavy on.
Same here.
Yeah.
Can I ask one question though? Like, what in the F happened to the Falcons?
They falconed.
Well, Kirk Cousins throws a lot of picks. I mean, he gets flustered. He gets in the red zone and he throws picks in the end zone. It's just unacceptable play, and I'm hearing that they're trying to put Penix in maybe this week or next week. That's the talk. I don't know if they're going to do it or not. I don't think they should, but I'm not going anywhere near Atlanta.
I'll be honest. I don't know if the Falcons were ever really that good. They played a lot of crappy teams to get to that 6-3 record early in the year.
They beat Philly, and then everybody went crazy, and nobody forgot the Philly game. That's what happened. They beat Philly. They should have never won that game. It was a bullshit game. And then from then on, everybody just was like, bowing down to Atlanta, and they just proved us wrong every single week. I went 3 weeks and learned my lesson.
And they caught a lot of bad teams at like the wrong time, or at the right time, I should say. Like, I mean, they caught the Bucks right after they lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I think.
No, Godwin and Evans were
the second time.
the first week they had everybody healthy.
The first game they
won in overtime. They won in overtime.
They beat them 2 times.
But the second game they were without Evans and Godwin, I'm pretty sure. They played the Panthers at a terrible time after they had just gotten railed the week before and they hadn't gotten their shit together yet. Didn't they beat the Saints pretty handily too early on?
Yeah, man.
Before,
they
when
did
they were
work. Like everyone thought the Saints were going to win 10 games and win the division.
They split. The Saints won.
Yeah.
And Atlanta won one. They split.
Well, they beat you guys.
Atlanta,
they beat the Saints.
Coaching is horrible. I mean,
yeah,
no,
that's where
it's at. On that offense, and they don't use it.
This isn't about Kirk Cousins.
No, it's the whole offense.
And let me tell you something.
You have a great receiver, you have a great tight end, and you have a great running back, and you're not producing any offense.
No, I don't. Honestly, man, like it's. I don't think Drake London's a great receiver. Firstly, secondly, with Atlanta, Kirk Cousins doesn't call plays. So a lot of my issues with the team has been coaching. Like I'll give you that. Drake London's good receiver for sure. Like you got Pitts, you got London, you got everything. But my issue with Atlanta is there's no explosive plays, and that's not Kirk Cousins' fault because they can't pass block, and they should be a running team. And then we've never seen it materialize, and they can't play defense. So they're not an explosive team on offense, and then you can't play defense. You're just setting yourself up to lose. Luckily, they get the Raiders this week. But
well, if you don't run the ball, then you can't pass the ball because if you're not running the ball, then you have to have balance. And if they don't have balance, I mean, one side of the ball is not going to do it.
For sure. But,
all right, guys, listen, I got to bounce because I just got to poker, but I'm glad I got to pop in for a little bit and. I've been on vacation all week, so I've done minimal research on other games. So as soon as I get my shit together tomorrow, I'll comment on the Patreon stuff with anything that I come up with. But I am on Green Bay. Part of me is really on Indy, and I really like Tampa, and I love Philly. So that's what I've got so far.
Sounds.
You like Philly with the 5.5?
Yes. Yes.
I
think they can win by touchdown.
Now,
it is bold, but I think they're a better team.
Oh, they are a better team.
So I'm on it. I can somewhat see your Miami play too, and I'm definitely loving the Vikings too.
Well, check this out. Miami. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa has, I think, the last 4 games he threw over 40 passes in each game and has not had an interception.
Dude, yeah, Tua's been balling. Tua's been playing very well the last few weeks.
Let's talk about. You want to hear that though? Like, what is it? I was gonna say this last week. Joe Burrows has thrown for 35 touchdowns and 5 interceptions this year.
Yeah,
on a losing record.
He's not the problem. Their defense can't stop anyone. It's like having a ghost out there.
Yeah,
it's like 11 cats for the ghost out there.
I mean Joe Burrow has had it. If Joe Burrow was on a winning team, he'd have an MVP year right now.
Oh, 100%, yeah. No doubt about it.
So it's not always going to be like you haven't thrown for any interceptions. That's great. Neither has Joe Burrow. Like, you know what I mean? So you just have to understand, like, fundamentally who you're going to have, because I like the fact they're in a dome. Houston's defense really makes me nervous lately. And I think that they can get some separation with Tyreek, and Waddle was doing great last week. So, like, I think there's definitely some options there. And then especially with the tight end play, I think there's too many players that are going to give Houston's defense a problem. So I don't think you can't double cover everybody. You know what I mean? So I feel like your Houston play is definitely on my radar.
Yeah, don't forget Achane out the backfield. He catches passes.
Oh, I love him. Yeah, I love him. And they even mixed in Mostert last week too, which he rose from the dead. So,
Lawson brought this up too. Like, I mean, you were talking about the Dolphins' offensive line not being able to block Houston, and I think in a straight up bar fight, you're right. But Miami, I feel like does, and maybe Chris can comment on this. I feel like Miami does a pretty good job of not putting a ton of pressure on that offensive line.
Well, I mean, the whole offense is designed around that because of his concussions. Their whole offense is designed to get the ball out of his hands between 3 to 4 seconds after he receives the ball. That's why you see it snap 1, 2, 3 out, snap 1, 2, 3 out, snap
Right.
one, and those routes are designed for that. Back in the day, a year or two ago, he was going into 5 and 7 step drops. And that's why you saw Tyreek get those big plays downfield, and he was throwing haymakers downfield. You're not seeing that as much anymore because he's on the verge of getting knocked out for the rest of his life. So you're seeing a lot. You're seeing a lot more 3 to 5 step drops, and he's getting the ball out real quick, and he's very, very accurate.
Yeah, he is.
All right, guys. I'll catch you all later. Good luck this weekend.
All right. See you, Lauren.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye, Lauren.
Bryce Young attempts, Michael Mann. Bryce Young attempts. We're going that. We're going.
You saw my parlay from earlier, right?
Yeah, dude. Bryce Young attempts. That's what we're doing.
How many?
So
35?
It's 30.
30?
Yeah, it's low. So.
I think this. I sent this to you, and I want you to understand. I don't think Chuba Hubbard is going to have a great game in this one. You can look at Dallas's stats against running backs. Like, they've actually done pretty damn well. I know their rushing yards per game is not good, but against running backs in particular, they've held their own over the last couple weeks. So I have over Bryce Young 30 attempts, over like the 200 passing yards, and the over 15 yards rushing for Bryce Young. If you want to put that on like a 3-leg parlay, I think that's a good bet.
No, Matt, and I think they're going to throw it because, like you said, Canals is just going to throw it anyways.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. Even when the run, and he's gotten better the last few weeks, but he's definitely shown where if you can stop Chuba Hubbard for a few plays in a row, he will definitely get away from the run.
No, of course. And they're not going to learn anything by just fucking running it like 60% of the time, like earlier in the year. And I don't agree teams are tanking. Like,
people have to play for jobs. I mean, you can't just like stop playing in the NFL. You won't play next year. You got people being drafted. You have people coming in on trades. How do you just stop playing?
Dude, Chris, that's what I'm fucking saying. I felt like I gave a pretty good 5-minute rant why it's impossible to tank in the NFL and you can't fucking lay down. Like, it's a physical sport. How do you fucking lay down?
Yeah, let's just say you're a corner. You're a corner on a contract, and you're just gonna stop freaking guarding people. And so what? So you don't have a job next year? That makes no fucking sense.
I know. How does a defensive tackle fucking tank? Like, how do you tank if you're a defensive tackle?
That's that whole thing with Miami when they freaking lost all draft picks and shit because they said that freaking they were going to tanking games or whatever.
Stephen Ross with Brian Flores.
I mean, give me a fucking. I mean, how ridiculous is that? This is the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Not for long. It's going to be even shorter of a time if you're not playing on purpose.
That's what I'm saying. And you've watched bad Dolphins teams your whole life. I've watched bad Bills teams my whole life. They win games week 15 through the last week of the year.
For no
there's
reason.
No tanking in this league.
Yeah.
I don't believe in tanking.
I was to someone today, Chris, someone sent me a long message on Patreon. Says, yes, I know we've been phenomenal late October through December on Patreon, but I'm down money because I keep betting NBA and I feel like I have great reads on NBA, but I'm losing.
You don't, though.
You don't.
No.
How do you have good reads when
you're losing
and constantly lose?
Chris, no, these NBA games, they don't mean anything.
Listen, I gave up on the NBA in the 90s. I was a huge Knicks fan. You know what I'm saying? We had Charles Oakley, Patrick Ewing, John Starks. I mean, you would throw the ball down into the paint. They would freaking post up and then throw the ball back outside and throw it back down and dunk. Now it's just everything is just from the 3-point line, just hoisting freaking the basketball into the air. What kind of a fucking game is that? I'd rather watch college basketball. College basketball, at least I watch Kentucky. And it's still basketball. It's the same way it's always been. But I can't watch the NBA anymore. And
it's Steph Curry's fault. It's Steph Curry's fault.
On it? Yeah. Well, I mean, that's ridiculous. No, it's the coach's fault because I mean, you're coaching these kids to play basketball, and then you're just allowing them just to freaking hoist up bricks all day.
Right. My point is Steph Curry's the one who kind of proved that style of basketball can work, and that's
but he was able to shoot the ball.
I know, but people are trying to be him now. People are trying to be
He
him
hit
now.
his
That's what I'm
threes,
saying.
you know?
Yeah, like I see like Andrew Wiggins, like I try to watch a game. Andrew Wiggins put up like fucking 12 threes. I'm just like, stop it. Like then John Morant saying he's not going to dunk anymore. Maybe I'm like a boomer, but fuck that. Like,
No, it's just do you think when they invented the game of basketball, that's what they envisioned? You know, just
Yeah,
hoisting
no.
freaking balls all over the court from 60 and 70 feet. That doesn't make any sense.
it doesn't, man. Like it's just I don't get it. Like, and I like basketball, like you said. Like, I actually like it, but I'd rather watch fucking middle schoolers play.
Well, not
To
for
be
nothing. I'm
honest.
on Discord and I'm watching people like put out these bets, and they're losing all of them. And I say, why are you putting you're putting that on for people to bet? Why? I mean, you see, you're consistently losing. Why are you putting that on Discord? You have these degens out there that are going to play these plays. And they think you know what you're doing, and then you're losing 3 out of 3. You're losing 2 out of 3. You're losing 3 out of 3 again. It's like I don't.
Yeah, I don't touch NBA.
It's tough. Like they're too ambitious with some of the parlays, man. They're like the parlays are bad regardless, but they're too ambitious with it. There's too many legs. And then like with the NBA, there's no good reads because you don't know, firstly, you don't know who's going to play the game. Secondly, no one plays any defense. Thirdly, it doesn't matter who wins or loses. The game just doesn't matter, man.
How can you play defense if you're throwing up 30-foot shots? I mean, there's no defense that defends against that. I mean, if you're behind the arc and you're just hoisting up threes, how can you guard against that?
And you can't touch anyone. And if LeBron goes to the fucking basket and he fucking slings an elbow, they call a foul on you. And it's just like, what are we doing here? And I just hate the NBA-ization of like NFL betting where like everything turns into a matchup, like Mahomes versus Allen, and everything turns into some sort of NBA tier matchup.
The NBA has got so bad they had to create a playoff atmosphere in the middle of the season.
And add more games to something that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
How do you have a playoff series in the middle of the year? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I am old school. I don't know.
NBA's weird.
Yeah,
I'm a boomer in terms of NBA. Like, I just don't fucking get it. And every single team has the same style. Like, if every team in the NFL had the same style, I'm out, man. I'm out. I'm
excited for the MLB, John. I'm a huge baseball fan. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait to see what you have in store for that and see if I can track with that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm going to lean on you guys because with MLB, man, I've always loved baseball. I did fall out a bit of it, but I always watched the Mets. Are you a Mets fan or Yankees fan?
I'm a Yankee. I was born in the Bronx. I'm a diehard Yankees fan.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were a Long Island guy. Normally, Long Island.
I am a Long Island guy.
Okay. Yeah. What is it like? It's Long Island. Is Long Island's like map country, right? Or am I wrong?
Well, it's closer to Queens, so I mean, but everything is intertwined. There's a lot of Met fans on Long Island, but there's also a lot of Yankee fans everywhere.
What's
we have 27 world championships. It's hard to not have.
Chris, can I ask you a question?
What
does the Staten Island when a girl has a Staten Island accent? Does it bother?
Gosh.
Did it bother you?
It didn't bother me. I dated a couple of girls from Staten Island. It's hard to know the difference when you're from New York, especially if you're not from New York, because like we all sound the same. But like Long Island is a little bit different because we use W's that don't exist, like long and coffee. You know what I'm saying? And
y'all
water,
exaggerate.
and water. You're gonna have a cup of water. Maybe I'm gonna get a coffee, a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich with a cup of coffee. But that's really putting it on. But like we drag out the.
The Staten Island one is like that. Best bets before we go. I would say Commanders for me.
I think that's what I'm with too.
I like Minnesota.
Yeah, I like Minnesota. Mike, what about Minnesota? Because you were one of the few people who thought Minnesota would dust Atlanta last week. And
I mean, I'm with it. I like it here.
Still dusted them.
I like it here, but I just, like I said earlier, the two concerns I brought up with Minnesota being one, the Bears literally just played the Vikings a few weeks ago and took them down to the wire. Granted, Minnesota dominated that game, and I feel like Chicago's in a way worse headspace now than they were then. And then the fact that's on Monday Night Football. Weird stuff happens on Monday night all the time where teams cover when they shouldn't.
Yo, Kai, we'll get you on next week. Any last words?
Can I ask a quick question real quick about the Carolina? Because when you put that early bet on this week, I bet it right away.
Okay,
I got
go
it.
on. We said it already. Go on.
I got it at 2.5, and just make me just ease my mind a little bit. I mean,
okay. Now, okay, we all laughed at Michael Mann when he said Bryce Young put in a decent performance against the Broncos. And because they got fucking dusted, what was it, 38-10, 38-17?
28-14 with Sean Payton run up the score.
Okay.
It was a great game.
Okay, so I know, okay, but that's our starting point. So that was the starting point. Giants won, kind of thought the Panthers would win. Like, we're pretty confident.
Oh, yeah.
It. As much as you can on like a plus 380, okay? Like, it's not beating my chest because, as you saw in the upset video, some of them are going really fucking left off a cliff. But sometimes you have to dare to dream. So with the Bryce Young, okay, my issue with him in the past was his pocket presence was absolutely terrible. Now, the Panthers do not have a great pass blocking offensive line. Michael Mann could come in after me and fact check what I'm saying, but they are going forward. One thing Bryce Young is doing, he's evading a lot of pressure. One reason why we were able to get on the Patriots before other people was because, yes, the offense line is dog shit. They're not good at pass blocking, but one thing Drake May is good at doing is avoiding negative plays and avoiding pressures. That's one thing Bryce Young is doing. Now, we don't have a great supporting cast to throw the ball to, but I do feel a lot better with Thielen in there. What is Thielen, like 34, 35 now? Yes.
Yeah, 33, and he's like playing like 23. I mean, that dude, I don't know how he does it.
He catches the ball.
He's the only receiver I trust to, when the ball is thrown to him, to get two hands on it and catch the ball, unless the refs screw him over like they did in the Bucs game.
So Chris, what I feel like we're getting out of Bryce Young is I don't think he's turning a corner like Michael Mann, but I do think we're getting league average quarterback play, which when you stack that against Cooper Rush, I think is helpful. Now, I don't know if you watched the Bengals game on Monday night.
I did.
But yeah, okay. You probably watched the Commanders game because we had the Commander minus 10.5. Let's not talk about that. But one thing with Cooper Rush is the ball's coming out of his hand astronomically quick. It's coming out faster than anyone in NFL. Data guys say that, but we can see that from watching the game.
He's not been that bad.
Yeah, but like, is CeeDee Lamb going to run across the field for fucking 80 yards like he did against the Bengals? I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's something I want to really bet on. So, yes, you can run the ball down the Panthers' throat, and the Panthers have a really bad defense. But also, this Panthers defense has been gradually getting better the last 5, 6, 7 weeks. I mean, they did get competitive against the Chiefs. They have been competitive in some games. And then you also have a Cowboys team that, I mean, man, I do feel like they're looking for a way out. And I know, like, listen, they played the Commanders' run game good. They played the Bengals' run game good. I don't know, man. The only game I was impressed with the run game was against the Commanders. They did pretty good against the Giants, but the fucking Giants are a train wreck. So that's where I'm at. Like, and I feel like we're going to get better coaching from the Panthers in this game. I trust Canales. I trust Bryce Young to play better football than Cooper Rush. Like you said, Cooper Rush hasn't looked that bad. It's not as bad as the first game, but anyways, someone can come in and fact check me.
Listen, I'm with the -3, but I'm telling you right now, I don't think this is the slam dunk everyone thinks it is, and I think this game is going to be a sweater.
They don't think it is, Mike.
I know. People are thinking that the Panthers are just going to destroy them.
No, they're thinking they didn't like the pick.
Oh, really?
I got
well, clearly
2.5.
people like so the spread opened at like +1 Panthers, and now it's up to -3. So people clearly like the pick.
People want to bet good teams, and I get it. I just think we should bet bad teams as well.
I like to bet the teams that are going to win that week.
Well, yeah, but bad teams win games, and the Cowboys are a bad team.
Yeah, and I also wonder, like you said, like, I mean, that Monday night loss to the Bengals, like, you could just tell that sideline was completely demoralized and taken back by that loss. Like, you got to wonder how much willingness are they going to have to go on the road in what's a tough place to play for most teams for whatever reason, and go in there and try to get a win.
All right, well,
the worst Vikings performances against bad Panthers teams, and it seems like everyone performs bad in there. Look at the Texans last year. Like, I don't know why teams perform bad there. I don't.
It's outside, and look, man, Panthers fans are coming back. We had the Bucks on a silent count a few weeks ago for most of the game, so yeah. We're getting there, man. I'm telling you.
No, I know. Like, it's better than nothing. It's better than. Remember the Atlanta game last year where like fucking like 2,000 people went?
Oh yeah, where we protested going to the game. Yeah, that was a fun one.
Oh, fuck.
I think it's real. Okay, being real talk. Like, I think it has to do with the just being outside because so many teams play in domes now.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. But it shouldn't be that significant of a factor. But for some reason, the team just plays so much better at home.
And yeah, so man, like, I also feel like this Cowboys offensive line's bad. It for some reason this unit just went from like maybe top 10 for like 10 years, and then it just got really bad. I don't know about your guys' reaction on that, but I think there's a reason why they have to throw the ball so quick. And I think Dowdle has a good game running the ball, but I don't know. I think I'd rather take the team that throws it better. But that's just me.
Well,
I don't know, man.
I mean, I took him in the beginning of the week, so it's too late now.
Well,
that's what I'm
glad I won your confidence. It's not the bet people want, but sometimes those are the best bets.
I bet it, and I think you do this too. I think you and I have a weakness in betting where we're really afraid to bet on our own team with the spread. Like I know you've done it a few times this year with the Vikings. I've pretty much done it every time the Panthers are, a talking point to cover anything. So, I mean, I think maybe it's just me being scared to bet my own team, but I am nervous for this game, like beyond a reasonable doubt.
I'm very scared about Miami last week.
Yeah,
I didn't sleep all night. I did not sleep the whole night before.
But the Dolphins have, when I say nervous, I mean nervous to bet. Like, the Dolphins have played well over the last few weeks and they've won. Just not in Green Bay. Like, you can ride with that. The Texans have played like crap. The Panthers and Cowboys both are just playing competitive football at the moment, even though they're losing games. And that's tough to bet on when you have those two entities clashing.
No, I agree.
Well, that being said, this is what I got this week. This is what I'm playing. I'm playing Washington -7.5. I'm playing Miami +2.5. I already played Carolina -1.5. I'm playing the Bills +2.5. And I'm playing Denver -4. And then I'm on the borderline with Tampa Bay. I got to think that over because I'm having an issue mentally. But if I'm thinking about +3 with Tampa Bay.
I agree. Like I laid out maybe too hard a point for Tampa Bay, but I just feel like we got our money with the Chargers. Got to get off of that. I don't know if I'm going to bet Tampa Bay +3.
I may just watch that game.
Yeah, unfortunately put all the good games on 4, like you guys said. So
yeah, seriously.
Does anybody think the Ravens are covering 16 points against Danny DeVito, Tommy DeVito, whoever the hell?
I mean, I think they're covering, but like I'm not betting it.
Yeah, I don't have any interest in betting shit like that, but I think they cover. I heard Mike Francesca on WFAN saying he thinks the Ravens are going to win by 30, and he's probably right.
I love Mike Francesa. He almost retired a few years back, and it was very sad because I grew up watching Mike and the Mad Dog my whole life, or listening to them on 660. I'm glad he came back. I'm really glad he came back.
Unfortunately, like he has to call in now, like because he's got his like own podcast now. I think they paid him like fucking like $20 million to do it a year, and no one gets it. So he calls in sometimes because he got triggered.
Oh, he's not on FAN anymore. He's not on.
No, but he calls in. Like it's good when he calls in, but the Giants won't talk to him anymore, so he doesn't have any inside info. But one thing he did say that was quite. I think he's actually right about it. I'll get your guys' take on this. I think Mike's right about this, by the way, as crazy as it sounds. He thinks the Giants are going to bring back the GM and Dable.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's he used to have a close relationship with Mara. Like, then they got butthurt because he hated Gentleman. You know Gentleman, Mike. He hated Gentleman, and then like
I
they
still
cut
hate
him
Dave
off
Gettleman.
from the inside circle, and they cut him off because he was right about Gentleman. So.
I mean, if he's right about shit, he would want to be even closer to you, no? I mean,
So
that's how
apparently-
pride is a fucking killer, let me tell you.
So I'll tell you, apparently a few years ago, back when the Giants had Joe Judge, if you remember his final season there, the Giants finished really bad to end the year. They had the back-to-back quarterback sneak game. I don't know if you remember that one. But they had a really crappy end to the season. And even like after the final week of the year, there was talk that they were going to retain Joe Judge.
Yeah.
Before they fired him. They fired him and ended up hiring Dayball, but like still, there was a legit period there where people were scared that they were going to keep him for another season, which would have been a disaster.
Yeah, and the GM has to go, but
right.
I still kind of think Dayball's a good coach, but it's been bad this year.
It all started when they signed that $40 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they brought him back this year, Chris. Like, and then there's so many other problems. It's like even hard.
You know, I mean, that's horrible.
It's hard to even like dunk on Daniel Jones now because
you traded the best running. You let the best running back in the league go to your number one competitor. You know.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you guys.
Hey,
Patreon bets will be up around like 9:30 Eastern time. Yeah, Chris and Mike, thanks for coming out.
Hey, Lawson, real quick before you go, are we doing the midnight stream again?
Yeah, if you
that's
can do it.
Yeah, I'm in. Let's do it.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to get the third TV out for the 4:00 game.
I know, me too. Yeah, we got to talk about which game.
Going like more than two TVs, Chris. I don't know about you, man. I don't like going more than two TVs, but they leave us with no choice. There's like 4 good games on it.
I'm in a place that has 35 TVs. So,
dude, I feel so bad for any Patriots Cardinals fans because that game is like the one really bad game at 4:00. So they have to sit there and watch Patriots and Cardinals go at it while all the games of the year are going on.
Yeah, watch the Patriots win that game, by the way.
Yeah, watch the Patriots win.
I wouldn't be shocked. Like, no, and we would be missing out because that would be a fun game to watch Drake May go off.
He's going to throw for 330 and 3 touchdowns.
Which he could go off. Like, he has phases of games where when he gets hot, he gets hot. Like, it's kind of like a Jameis factor. I want to see Jameis go off at 1. We need that.
Oh, please.
Don't bet the Chiefs. Do not take 4 points. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no. And it'll be pretty grim if the Panthers play like shit and we don't even get like a Jameis performance. So,
yeah.
Please, God, don't make me pace tonight.
I know, dude. It's but we got Commander Saints at 1, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I think that if we can take away one thing from the stream, I think that's the bet we feel most confident in.
Yeah, Commander Saints. All right, guys. I'll see you.
Have a good night, guys. See you later.
Good night.
Make sure you hit the like button. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Lauren. Key, we'll get you on next week. I promise, my man. I know you've been asking. So yeah, like we got some soccer bets. I already posted the best soccer bet. I posted it Thursday. But there'll be 2 more soccer ones up. Prop video will be up early Saturday. So, dude, we have to wait on the prop bets because it's just absolutely horrendous what they do with the lines. But maybe like midnight tonight, maybe 1:00 in the morning tonight. All right, guys. Thank you. Share the videos. Hit the like button. Everyone have a great what is it? Road to Christmas. Russ. Yeah, Azo, I saw you, man. Listen, man, I just don't know how to take like the Russ Wilson top 10 quarterback. And thank you, Francesco. Thank you. Yeah, I'll ask Chris. I'll ask Chris what location he manages at Hooters. You should go fucking see him. Dude, it's easy to drive across Florida. Like, I worked in like near Naples. I could drive to like Port St. Lucie in like an hour and a half across the state. So yeah, man. Go hang out with Chris, man. Yes, I will. I always post the bets tonight. I always post the bets like 9:30, 10 p.m. Eastern time at latest. Thank you, guys. Oh, you're 30 minutes away, Jarrett. You're good then. Aren't you in like middle of Florida, like Ocala? All right, I'll see you guys. Yeah, dude. Yeah, he manages Hooters, man. He says it's fucking awesome.